All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm istherenoonelse, and in today's video, we're going to talk about two things. Number one, we're going to talk about the patch notes and whatnot, and then we will talk about some Mara's Balm testing I've done in the last week. So yeah, that's what this video is. Let's just dive into it. First of all, as far as the PTS testing goes, I know I haven't done any gear set reviews or anything. Some of the sets weren't available week one of the PTS, and so hopefully they're available this week, and I can get some videos out for you guys. The mythic items were. I need a few people to test with, and some of my friends that we just couldn't get a time set up. You know, our schedules were conflicting, and so yeah, I will try to get that knocked out this week for you guys. The more interesting sets and everything. I promise you that I, of all people, am not ignoring the PTS. Yeah. It's just a lot more of a normal one, and so it's a little bit less pressing to get as much information out about why things are good or why things are bad. It's a little bit more lax, so we're going to take it from a more lax perspective, I guess. Now, the thing that you've all been waiting for, Mara's Balm was changed last week. We got given a 1 second cooldown for each potential heal. It still has the burst aspect to it. It still has the purge. I've been testing it, and I wanted to provide my thoughts on what it was, because there's been a lot of contention about this set. Obviously, I thought it was busted. I thought when it got adjusted, it was still busted. What do I think of the adjustment now? Well, as I showed you guys in the video I did a couple weeks ago, basically the change that they made was very similar to the option that I thought they should do. And so part of me was like, okay, I propose this change. This is in my head, right? I proposed this idea for adjusting this set. They looked at it, agreed, and adopted it. Am I right? like did I mess this up? You know? And so I'm not the only one that said what was said, but it's on the forums about what I proposed back in like mid-August. I can provide a screenshot here, and it's basically like almost exactly what they did. And so I decided to test it, and it was my belief that those adjustments would still make Mara strong, but it would be, you know, an option. It would be an optional defensive set among a bunch of other solid options. And is that the case? And so I've been testing, and this is going to be a tough comparison. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys, and I wanted to work it out and explain my reasoning. But there's all different sorts of survival sets, right? Survival can be one of multitude of things. Like, you can survive by having high recovery, like high recovery and swift, and being able to just get out of fights. You can have high survival by having high mitigation, either present mitigation or resistances. Or you can have survival via stacking heals. Now, Mara's Balm is the last aspect. So we've seen different classes in the past, like Magicka Templar, last patch, where they stacked Radiating Regeneration, Bubble, Purify, all these things down, and you could go full damage, and you had so much heal over time effects that your survival was very good. It's the same thing with Nightblade this patch. Like, hybrid Nightblade survival is so strong in this patch due to the amount of heals that they have. They don't have to stack into mitigation, because their heals just carry their survival. And so Mara's is kind of like that, or it has been. I've shown multiple videos showing the adjustments and stuff, and so it's tough to compare a healing set, a healing and purge set, versus a set like Pariah, you know? Because one's giving you mitigation and the other one's giving you healing. And so it's not the easiest thing in the world to compare. So I decided to just put them on. Like, I try to do an apples to apples comparison. So you see my Warden. On this Warden, I still have the Master's Dual Wield. I still have Sea Serpent. You see the blue flame over my head. I have Alchemist back bar. And yeah, I'm wearing Mara's Balm on the body with one-piece Balorg. And so I'm just testing my survival. Got combat metrics going on PC that's going to show the healing at the end if you guys want to check that out and everything. And so I tested it on a Warden, and I'm looking at the healing. And if you guys remember, like, Mara's Balm was like 30, sometimes 30, 40% of my healing in some fights, like, which is which is a ton. And it would honestly be more depending on how many people are fighting you and attacking you and everything, because it didn't have a cooldown. And so, yeah, I put Maris on the Warden, and then I also put it on the Necromancer. I streamed last Saturday. There's a VOD up on Twitch if you guys want to go check that out. And I streamed playing open world with Maris to get numbers and everything, and see the comparison to see if it's a bad set or a good set. And I then took the set off, and I put the set that I've been running for that I ran for tankiness in update 34, Ethereal Ascension on. Now, I've talked about this in other videos. I'm not going to go too far into it. Ethereal Ascension is just a fantastic mitigation set. You have it for your, like I know a lot of people, like Pariah's typically been the go-to for the body defensive sets, but Ethereal Ascension for the 20% cost, ignoring the 20% cost increase, it's got very, very high mitigation. And I'm not saying ignore it for as far as pros and cons. It's just, hey, this is a really good mitigation set. Maris was a really good healing set. How does it feel for survival in open world PvP? So I ran Maris for like 2 or 3 hours on Saturday, and then I ran it for hours before that too. Like, I think I PvP'd on Wednesday and Monday with Maris on. So I had a good 5, 6, 7 hours of running Maris. So I knew what Maris was giving me. I looked at combat metrics quite a bit, and I'll show the combat metrics in this match as well. But I did all those things. And then I took them off. I took Maris off, and I put Ethereal Ascension on, and I replaced it. So everything still remained the same. Clever Alchemist back bar with Sea Serpent, the exact same build, just different survival sets. And the conclusion for me was that it felt very, very similar. The survival was very similar. There's some fights, you know, if you're running across more DKs, having that purge and the heal is like more valuable with Maris, because purging all negative effects for outnumbered 1vx is so extremely valuable, guys. Like, it's so valuable. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a reason Templar Purge is as strong as it is. So yeah, you get that every 15 seconds where it purges everything for free. Really, really nice. Then you get the burst heal, and the burst heal will heal in most situations for anywhere from like 8 to 10k, depending on how many people you're fighting. It can go a lot higher, but every 15 seconds, yeah, you get a burst heal aspect, and you get a hot aspect to it as well. And so you have all this healing that basically just exists by wearing the set. And so it makes it very strong in that regard. Whereas Ethereal Ascension is just you take less damage. And so when you think about it, Ethereal Ascension will be more like, if you're looking for a defensive set, Ethereal Ascension, Pariah, like one of these resistance sets, Armor Master, Iron Blood, they will be more valuable. My girls are playing outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But Ethereal Ascension will be more valuable because in those situations against like a Nightblade, because they're not really stacking status effects like most builds are not. They're more bursty. And because they have more bursts, stacking mitigation will work better against them. Like, comparing a DK with their dots and their pressure and, you know, all these sorts of things, and getting all these individual heals and more chance at a burst heal, Maris will be better versus like a DK and a Templar, but it'll be worse against like a Nightblade. And I think that's a good, I personally think that's a good thing. I don't think one set should be best in slot in every single scenario. If you feel like you need heals, like your class is lacking healing, well, now Maris gives you healing. You know, if you feel like your class is better off with mitigation, you can run a mitigation set. And I think it's close to, I mean, I still think it's one of the best survival sets in the game. I'm not saying you need to run a survival set, but it's now closer. It's now a lot closer to the other survival sets in the game. And yeah, due to, for my personal thing on some classes and some specs, if I'm running across a bunch of Nightblades in open world PvP, I don't really want to run Maris. You know, I don't want to run Maris because I'm going to get nuked. I'd rather run Ethereal Ascension. Now, if Templar DK become like the most prominent thing, or I'm fighting a lot of them, I'd rather run Maris. And so now you have these pros and cons sorts of situations when you're running this set. And so yeah, out of all my tests, when you stacked the burst heal aspect and you stacked the hot aspect, more often than not, it was still top 2 in healing. It was right up there with Vigor on all my classes. It was right there with Vigor. as far as healing. Sometimes it was more, sometimes it was less, really depended on what I was fighting. And I mean, maybe you could contend that it needs a slightly smaller heal, since on the PTS, Vigor is getting a 10% reduction. You could make that argument for sure. If they believed that Vigor's healing is too strong and this set is Vigor-like healing, then it makes sense. But I do think it's pretty close. I don't think it's the carry that it was. I definitely don't think it was the carry. It's the carry that it was. Pretty clearly, but it is it's in line with the strongest heal in the game, the strongest hot in the game, plus it gives you a purge every 15 seconds. So that's extremely valuable, in my opinion. So I'm gonna let this BG run out for you guys. You guys can feel free to watch it. I am running Mara's Balm here, so you can watch the heal ticks in these different fights and everything. The 1177, I'm pretty sure, is the Mara's Balm coming in. And sometimes it scales higher because I got major mending on here when I get to lower health and everything. And so yeah, you're going to be able to see this. But yeah, I will stop talking here. I know you guys get tired of hearing my voice and hearing me talking about these different sets, but I think this is exciting stuff. Like, I know this is the stuff that I'm excited about, is a viable competitive option, not something that's so ridiculously dominant in PvP you'd be stupid to not run it. Like, I think it's still good. I think it's still good, and I think you could argue that it could be less than what it is, but more or less for me, after the testing, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with dealing with it in PvP. I'm cool with whatever. I don't think it's like so much stronger, I guess. but yeah, now I'm going to stop talking. Hope you guys have a fantastic week. I will, like I said, be coming out with a lot of videos. So if you guys want to chat in the comment section, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been testing it. Let me know if the adjustment scared you. Did the Mara's nerf potentially scare you out of running the set? Are you actually going to go get it now that it's probably cheaper? Yeah, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Especially in no CP. We could look at the Mara's Balm combat metrics after this too, if you guys want to see that. It's still a good set, it's just not... It's not absolutely cracked like it used to be. Nice. Ooh! Oh my god, I took all the damage there. I prefer red. Oh yeah, sorry. I was back reading the same thing I read earlier. 18 and 3? Oh, right on the front steps. That's funny. I gotta dodge. Woo! What the? Good game. 303k healing too, which all I have is Polar and Trellis. That's why Warden's just so strong in BGs. Like, I'm not spec'd for healing and I still have some cross heals. That was close. Oh, did we win? I wasn't even looking at that. Whoops. Alright, so if you guys want to see the Mara's healing so you get an idea. And it's Battlegrounds, it's a little bit different. But Mara's is way down here. Like, Polar and Vigor are more heals than what I have. But keep in mind also that if you stack everything, Mara's Balm for the burst heal is down here. So it's a burst heal and a purge. And so this one was only 4619. The highest I've gotten in a BG is like 8k. Open world PvP would be over 5 figures for sure. But if you stack both of this, I mean, it's still some of the best source of healing on your bar. Like, that'd be 17, 18%. So it'd still be the most healing, but it'd be on par with Vigor. And it still purges everything every 15 seconds, and it has a burst heal. So yeah, my point is it's still very good. It's just not like absolutely cracked. Polar's like 500 heals per second, and Mara's is like 300, yeah. Yep. And Polar's obviously a different story. Like Polar, and this is a minute 41 fight. See if I have a longer one. Minute 17, 712. So here's a 7-minute fight. Polar is roughly, in total, like 30% of my healing. Just under. Resolving Vigor is 14. Mara's Balm is 11.8 plus 6. So 17, 18%. I got a 6k heal here on the burst aspect.